is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world.
I have a dream.
Well, that's where we start when I go into politics.
Continue to be held as hostages in an attempt to force unacceptable demands on our country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Is increasing inequality and deep divisions among our own people.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
Congress has failed to pass federal hate crimes legislation that protects LGBT Americans from senseless violence.
So let us summon a new spirit of patriotism, of responsibility, where each of us resolves to pitch in and work harder and look after not only ourselves but each other.
Broadcasting live from the MSC Radio Network in the city built on steel, rock and roll, and is the fictitious home of Betty White. This is Joust It Out, and I'm your host, G. With me is the lovely Judith Pendell.
Thank you
Hello,
for that
Judith.
Wonderful introduction.
I don't know. What is that? Robin Our Hearts is sick. God knows what happened to her, why she's sick. I'm sure it involved partying somewhere. Or,
foot and mouth disease.
Yeah. You know what? I just popped my pee, I think. Chris calls these training wheel things that they're little mesh nets that are supposed to stop us from popping peas. And I think that normally we don't pop peas, but now that he took them away and said that that's what they're for.
Now we're all self-conscious
and
it's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. So Robin Our Hearts is out. And I think Stanley Davis might be in the chat room. If you are listening to us, you're probably listening to us on the MSC Radio Network side of our listening ability and not the joustitout.com. There is a technical issue there that it's supposed to be up any minute. Hopefully that happens. And that is tied to Stanley Davis in the chat room along with our other friends. So we apologize if you're not in there or if you listen to this at a later date. It won't matter.
We apologize if you are not listening and are not able to hear us right now.
We're kind of live. We're live, but not really. I don't know.
Raise your hand if you are not here.
You got listeners.
Okay. They must have came through the MSC radio side and not the Joust It Out side.
Bless your hearts.
Yes. Thank you, folks. Because most of our folks do come the other way. But
Gee, why don't you tell us? It's been a stressful day. Why don't you tell us your theory on the 13th?
There's no theory. For some reason, I got...
Yes, there is. When G walked in this store, everything fell apart.
I know. I told you. I hate the number 13. I do really weird things to never have 13 in, like, certain things in my life.
Are you one of those people
dates?
who won't have, like, if you have $13 in your wallet, you'll, take $1 out?
Yes. I'd give away $1 or whatever, so I have 12.
Wow.
I do all kinds of freaky things that I don't want to tell the world, which are kind of OCD related around 13.
But think about it, like buildings and airlines, like they don't have a row 13, they don't have a floor 13. And 14 is actually 13, but it's interesting how much that's really
it's woven
ingrained
into everything I do. And I saw today, well, I didn't know this morning it was really the 13th.
You just felt it.
I felt bad from the time I woke up this morning, and the day just turned to shit. So, and everything that I seemed to touch just kind of crumbled. And maybe
it's not you. I think it's the universe. It's not you.
You think? And I think it also just might be...
You're buying into it. It's
a
self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is self-fulfilling. It is. Yes.
So that was just a warning, a little pre-warning. We have no idea how the show is going to go today.
well, Robin's sick. Our website's down. Just the start. So we'll just go with it.
We weren't here last week.
We were not here last week. And why don't we fill folks in? Last week, we were in Columbus, and Judith and I were in a Senate hearing room, and it was kind of a fun thing. We were there for a trafficking bill that is about human trafficking, and we were there for maybe backup testimony if it was needed. And sitting in front of us, we were sitting at an end of a bench, and it was kind of funny because these two guys were sitting in front of us. All the senators were looking at us, but they weren't looking at Judith and I. They were looking at the other guys.
And of course,
in front of us.
G and I have to pass notes during testimony, like, oh my God, can you believe what they said? Da, da, da. And he's like, sit still, look straight ahead, no facial emotions, because the senators are all looking at us. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're not looking at us.
And I knew they weren't. I knew they were looking at the guys in front of us. And so the seat in front of me was totally empty. Yeah. Then the other two were in front of another colleague of ours.
It's like Men in Black. There were Men in Black.
And there were people were noticing there. And all of a sudden, I look, and sitting in front of me is Governor John Kasich, and I'm looking at John Kasich back of his head.
So he just like scoots in, and then we're like, that's why all the senators were looking over there, because they knew that those were his guys.
And of course, they acknowledged the governor, and then the chair of the committee said, "Don't worry, Governor, we'll get this bill passed." By the way, there was supposed to be a hearing on this bill, and just shows the power of the governor. And, go ahead.
Well, no, what happened? So there was a hearing yesterday.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. So they had the hearing last week. They have another hearing yesterday morning in the Senate committee. Push it out of committee, onto the Senate floor. Done. It's all voted out. It already went through the House. It was all like you blink an eye and you miss it.
The power of Republicans running everything. And
when the governor wants something done, it gets done. Meanwhile,
instantly.
we've got bills floundering that'll never see the light of day.
Ever.
Or that we've tried to reintroduce year after year after year. But,
it's a rough time for the progressives. It is.
And hopefully the bill is a good one. I mean, on the face of it, we know that there's a huge, especially here in Ohio, Northeast Ohio, that there is a huge issue with sex trafficking, labor trafficking. It's all, human trafficking is a really big deal, believe it or not, here in Northeast Ohio.
Yep.
And, but we just have to see. We haven't even seen the full bill. We don't know what the amendments look like. It's a mess.
And a lot of the senators were greatly concerned. The bill came out of the House so quickly, and it ended up in this Judiciary Committee, and they were really concerned, and they were passing all kinds of amendments to kind of like make it a tighter bill, because you certainly don't want people that should not be charged with a crime at a greater level than. As a matter of fact, one of our friends, Senator Mike Skindle, he got the support of the Prosecutors Association to even help with some of the amendments to kind of really tweak it and make it work better. So, but anyways, that was our John Kasich experience last week. But I have to tell you a freaky thing. When I was sitting behind him, I had this syringe pen in my hand, and I thought, this is just a weird dynamic. And I'll hold up the syringe pen. Judith, go to the camera with it. Just show people what that pen looks like. So it looks like a real syringe, and it's for the syringe exchange program. And people kind of look at that pen when they see it in my hand and say, why the hell's he got a syringe in his hand? And I had it in my hand taking notes right behind the governor, and I thought, am I going to get in trouble for this? Because it's just so weird. And I also thought, wow, if I didn't really like the governor, like I really didn't like him and I was psychotic, I could hurt this man right now.
You could have at least spit on the back of his neck.
I could have did something, but,
Hacked a loogie break.
I wouldn't do that, of course. So, and I'm not encouraging anyone out there to do that.
We do not encourage violence.
No, we do not.
Right.
So it is Marine Week in Cleveland. We were chosen this year, and every year, I guess, around the country, they choose a city, and the Marines invade. And
did you see some of them downtown?
I did. I saw some of those hot Marines. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I was driving past City Hall, we saw them.
Yeah, they actually have shut down for our Cleveland friends and folks. Is that downtown area right in front of Tower City is all shut down, and the Marine Band is playing. I think they're doing a rock concert at the Rock Hall.
They have a lot of their vehicles set up. You can get in.
Big video
kids
screens.
Can go in. Yeah.
But one of the things that they were talking about this weekend is that they're going to storm the beach, and what they're going to use is our airport that's on the water. They're using that area as staging, and they're actually going to storm the beach, which I think is pretty cool.
Wow.
I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty hot.
Meanwhile, all these hot Marines are running around the city. It's very nice.
I'm an Army girl, though.
I know. Well, yeah, wait.
But Lori is a Navy. I know. So, because I'm an Army
Dad's
brat.
an Army guy.
My dad, my sister, brother-in-law.
Army,
Yeah, uncles.
I like the Navy uniforms, but the Marines are hot. I was in CVS today, and there were like 5 of them in front of me, and they really are. I'm only like 5'9", and I really just feel inadequate. It's like I'm old, I'm 5'9", I'm like sitting there looking at these big hunky guys, and I'm like, God, I suck.
No,
it's so depressing.
No, well, you don't know. They could have been looking at you.
They were not looking at me.
Look at that.
Not when they could look at each other. They were not looking at me. I can assure you of that. So, anyways.
Anyway, come to Cleveland. You know who else is coming to Cleveland?
Who?
President Obama.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. So tomorrow, President Obama will be on one of his many, many trips here.
Well, he was just here a couple weeks ago. Well, he was in Columbus a couple weeks ago.
I will never get over the fact of being a Rhode Islander where nobody ever comes to visit you during an election year because maybe you'll see them once because they have to come, but they don't come there. This place is crazy.
Yeah, you don't feel bad if you miss him one time because in a few weeks he'll be back. And Ohio is small enough you can drive across the whole state in 4.5 hours. So it's not like, he's going to be out of reach.
What do you mean? Ohio is big. What are you talking about?
Ohio's not that big. I'm just saying that if you're in Cleveland and he's going to show up in Columbus, it's only a 2.5 hour drive to go see the president.
I see. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you miss him in Cleveland. That's okay. In a couple weeks, you can see him in Cincinnati, drive 4 hours. That's it.
But his speeches are supposed to be a pretty big deal tomorrow. All eyes are on it because there's this battle between him and Romney just on the economy right now. This is their heated week. Romney, I think, is giving a speech also tomorrow after the president's speech. And then Romney is visiting Ohio on Father's Day. So we are so blessed to have Mitt Romney here on Father's Day, and in the Mormon religion, Father's Day is a big deal.
Yeah, because they father a lot of bazillion children.
Bazillion children.
Right.
They take off the magic underwear and they...
Are you sure they don't just put a hole in the magic underwear?
They might. I mean, they might
Through
need to.
the sheets?
That kind of makes sense, actually.
Probably.
I do want to talk about this, but
Is that like a tub of popcorn at the movie theater?
A tub of popcorn? What do you... Oh, God. He's so stupid. Chris.
I don't get it.
A tub of popcorn on your lap.
Gotcha. Dick in a box.
Is that what that is?
No, I just think it's kind of the same thing as the SNL skit.
Despite all the bad stuff that's going on, I do want to say that I was happy to see that Gabby Gifford's aide actually won her seat.
The primary.
So this is a seat not lost to a Republican after being a strong Democratic seat. And I was watching last night, and Gabby looked really good and happy that her aide won. And I just want to play a clip real quick showing that. Yes, Ron Barber is her aide who won her seat. I think she looks good.
Kind of a bad cell phone video.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks.
Gabby is my friend, and she is an inspiration to all of us. Oh, yeah.
So really, it's about Gabby. And, the guy won.
Right.
He's probably a great guy and whatnot, but really it was who Gabby crowned to be her replacement.
Yeah,
really.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
It is, and I'm happy to see that. I want to say that a local thing is, this. You see this, and it's amazing what she's come from. I mean, being shot in the head, coming out of that. She's so lucky to be alive, and she is very fortunate. And I do want to say from our show that we want to send our prayers and well wishes to Stephanie Schaefer's husband, who is Fox 8. A lot of people know this story. It's played out throughout Ohio and Cleveland area, but we definitely want to say that we're sending our well wishes and prayers also to Stephanie Schaefer and her husband locally, who actually had a brain injury, fell off a scaffolding, and been in a touch and go situation. But they're saying that it's looking good for him and that he will recover, but he also will have a road ahead, just like Gabby. So I want to say that, and then also. Going down this road this week, I saw Robin Roberts. Here she is, a breast cancer survivor, and I think it was breast cancer, I believe. 5 years ago, Robin Roberts from ABC Good Morning America, and her treatment actually, which I never knew that was possible, that the treatments she had actually caused another form of cancer. Yeah, and it sounds like it's a very progressive one, and that she's going to go through some really intense treatments around that. So that was big news this week. And I really like her. She's I like the new Good Morning America. It's very gay, by the way, between Sam Champion and all the folks there, and Robin, who isn't out, but I assume she's a lesbian. With all of her sports talk and no husband, boyfriend, and seems very lesbian-like.
Oprah.
Oh, no, she's not like Oprah. Oprah's more passable than Robin Roberts.
No, I know. I'm just saying. What did I do to this microphone?
I don't know, but you're doing dirty things to it. It looks like.
No, I don't.
No. So what else?
Because we weren't here last week, It's just like I'm trying to figure out, everybody's already talked about everything. We missed all this stuff.
I know.
And it's like, what's happened this way? I don't even know.
We missed it.
I'm in such a bubble. I don't even, you're talking about Good Morning America. I don't know what you're talking about. I never watched this.
I don't know. I just had a little wave of, I saw Gabby and it brought me to Stephanie's husband and then to Robin Roberts. I don't know. People surviving and getting through when you get through it. Like I was bitching about it being the 13th and it being such a bad day, and you compare,
and then you're like,
compare to all of that, and it's like, well, what am I bitching about?
Yeah,
we actually have it was a wonderful day.
I know, right? We woke up, we were healthy.
Is the best day in the world. I love the number 13. It just changed my whole outlook.
Your perspective, very good. See, it's like a therapy session.
It is like a therapy session. It's because Robin's not here. I don't know.
Right. We should.
What?
Nothing. No, go ahead.
What are you going to say? No,
I don't know what I was going to say.
I was waiting.
No, I'm just trying to look at what we have to talk about. I mean, we've got tons of stuff. We lined up some clips. I don't know.
I'm letting it all go out the window.
We didn't even, just so you know, behind the scenes, we don't even have a rundown for today's show.
No, we do.
Do we?
We kind of do.
Oh, we have last week's.
But it was last week's rundown, which we blew off and screwed over Joe the plumber. Right. Sorry, Joe. And
can we still have him on?
Yeah, we're gonna get him back.
We need to have him.
We
need to have him on. I'm really interested. It is
a continuation of Pride Weekend. We are going to get to Todd Saporito in a few minutes. Chris is going to give him a call, and we're going to just check in on Cleveland Pride and where it's at and what's going on. He'll give us the latest update on that. And also, I wanted to show, before we do that, another thing in the LGBT community is that there was a trans person that for the first time.
Yeah. So my understanding.
Yeah, go
Do you want me to say?
Yeah,
okay. Whoopsie.
Your understanding is that.
Well, I gotta be by the microphone to talk.
Okay. Well, I'm waiting because you know the story more than I do.
I don't really know the story, but.
What do you know?
Okay.
All right.
So my understanding is that this is the first time that an openly transgender individual has ever testified.
Yep.
I don't know, before Congress or at least before the Senate.
Yeah.
Or the Senate committee. So this is history in the making. So we'll just show a little clip of this, and it's the piece of legislation that they're hearing is ENDA.
ENDA. Yeah.
Turn to Mr. Kyler Broadus.
Mr.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you for being here. Please proceed.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I'm very honored to be here today. As mentioned, I'm the Executive Director of Trans People of Color Coalition, and I do various things. I reside in Columbia, Missouri, and I'm a native of mid-Missouri. I also teach at a historically black college, and I'm here to obviously speak in support of inclusion of ENDA. And I'm here to paint a little bit different picture than just the statistics, although the statistics are very important, but as a person that has suffered job discrimination himself. I am a transgender American. I'm a female-to-male transsexual person that transitioned approximately 20 years ago. The terminology is explained in my testimony. Basically, there's an umbrella term called transgender that's used to define people whose internal identification is different from their external appearance at birth, and that would be me.
Well, there you go.
So very exciting. I don't know why. It just gives me chills. I think it's just incredible. This is, I believe, the third or I don't know how many times ENDA has been heard, but it hasn't been heard in at least like 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. And, some of you may know that Ohio is one of the states that here in the state of Ohio, it is legal to fire someone based on their gender identity, sexual orientation, evict them. It's just so this is something obviously that we need.
We should throw in there that not only that a sexual identity, but also just everything about being LGBTQ. You can be fired from your job or kicked out of your house, denied a mortgage, loan, whatever. Still. Yeah. So we have to mention that every so often to remind people that that is the case.
Right.
I do want to say that I was thinking about this, and how far have we come when it is a U.S. senator referring to him as a man, which he clearly is. But there would have been a time when they would not have done that,
right?
Or even had him sitting there. So that's a great thing.
Absolutely.
This reminds me of I kind of went through this thing this past week, and I know this is somewhat controversial for the people that I love and love me, but I am over the fact that I'm sick of giving people a pass. We are about to go into an election, and I have family members who I love dearly and I get along with, and they support my husband and not myself. But at the end of the day, they're still going to vote for Mitt Romney. And I understand it's a party affiliation thing, but at some point, I just don't understand where we're not important enough to make a decision that, you know what? I'm not going to vote for a person who would take away the rights of my child, of my brother, my sister, my cousin, my friend, my ally. And I have to say that my tolerance that I once had for all of it is out the window. And I really am going to have to go carefully into this 2012 election because I don't want to hurt people that I love. But at the same time, it really bothers me that I have to accept a form of discrimination that is just supposed to be accepted because, well, that's my choice politically. But if you, again, to me, it's a hypocritical thing. And how do you sit there and have dinner with me and my husband, and at the same time you go out and vote against us? The year we got married, that was happening here in Ohio. DOMA was being put in place. And it was, I guess, maybe because I was younger, I accepted it a little easier. But I think in also just doing the work here and seeing what that means to the people I serve and this community and just what accepting that does to us as people. And again, I don't want to hurt the people I love, but I have to say that this is kind of me throwing down the gauntlet, and I'm not going to take it so much.
No, I agree with you, and I fully support you. There comes a point in time where you just have to let those people go, in your life, that if you for your own sanity. Sometimes I think, like, what are they thinking? Well, my brother-in-law, son, uncle, whatever, is gay. I like him.
Right.
But it's like, but all those other gays, meh.
They're acceptable. They're passable.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of gays that are acceptable and passable, I think we're going to call Mr. Saporito and get him on the line.
Hello, this is Todd Saporito.
Hello, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Hello, acceptable gay that we like.
Hello, is it both Judith and Garrett?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Todd, I do want to say congratulations, Grandpa, Papa, Granddaddy.
My granddaughter, Abigail Patricia, came into the world on the 11th at 9:34 p.m., and her mom, Katie, did a wonderful job, and her husband, Nick, bringing that one bundle of joy to us.
So exciting.
It is.
Congratulations.
And Todd, the timing of your daughter, it could not be better. Last year, she was getting married at this time, and a year later, she almost had the baby on Pride, which would really have been an interesting day for you.
Pride Month, yeah.
That's right. Not many people know that my daughter actually got married the night before Pride last year, which caused all sorts of very detailed planning to occur to be at both events, the wedding, of course, as well as Pride. And then this year, with a bundle of joy on the way, I was wondering how that was going to work out. My daughter was gracious enough to actually have my granddaughter 7 days before her due date, so that made it a lot easier on all of us.
Oh, wow. Well, Todd, so talking about Pride, give us the update. I know that you're trying to get to the hospital and see your new granddaughter and your daughter. So what's happening?
I appreciate that. I am actually headed over there to see her, and people can see my granddaughter on Facebook, so that's my plug for my granddaughter. A couple of exciting things that are going on right now is that we've announced our Grand Marshal, which is Michelle Nicopolis. We selected her because she has done some really, really wonderful things in the community. More importantly, joined Cleveland Pride back in 2008, helping us with the Generations Project, which was having the youth and our senior brothers and sisters of the Pride movement talk and have a conversation together. She took that concept much further past Cleveland Pride and actually helped bring together the Northeast Ohio coalition of GSAs.
Wow.
And that's just grown tremendously, where there's over 18 colleges, some high schools involved. And we really felt that she was the perfect choice for us this year in picking as our parade grand marshal, because she certainly emulates what it is like to be a quiet activist.
Right.
She's impacted the lives of many college students and even the families and friends of folks who are not in college. And so that's what we've chosen, is Michelle this year to be our grand marshal.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. And and what's going on with the parade? You're going to have, so you have her as a grand marshal. Is there? I heard there possibly a second grand marshal or a celebrity?
There is. There actually is a celebrity grand marshal that we're having, and it was a perfect opportunity for us to actually partner with the North Coast Men's Chorus, because as we were looking at making certain that we always put people out there that we want people to emulate. We were fortunate enough to have Brian Stokes-Mitchell come in, who will be actually singing with the North Coast Men's Chorus that evening, come in as our celebrity grand marshal himself. So we've got a combined combination.
Todd, excuse my ignorance, but I'm not really familiar with who that is. Because who is that?
He is a wonderful singer that most people would know actually from the show Glee right now. He came on playing one of Rachel's gay fathers. And most importantly, when you take a look at his background, he has actually done more fundraisers than I could probably speak to in regards to everything ranging from benefits to put in benefits around health care, which includes Alzheimer's to AIDS, as well as helping with arts scholarships and other LGBT causes. So he is a straight ally who actually has done a fantastic job supporting the LGBT community and many of our causes, both gay and straight.
So a straight ally that plays a gay guy in Glee. That's pretty cool.
That's right. You can't ask for anything better. And I don't think that most people realize it always takes the majority to vote in the rights of the minority. So our straight allies are very important to us, and we appreciate all of their help. And then, being able to collaborate with people who are both, and ironically, both of our marshals this year are straight allies.
Right.
Michelle is a straight ally, works with Tri-C, and then, of course, we have Mr. Mitchell. So that's fantastic as well. We were really pleased today to announce that the Youth Town, which is a concept we put in place in 2008, is now being partnered, or there's a collaborative funding to bring that to the table. And that is the area that we bring together that the AIDS Task Force, which you're very much aware of, the AIDS Funding Collaborative and Cleveland Pride, actually create as a kind of like a safe zone party within the party for youth between the ages of 14 and 24.
Yeah, that's always an amazing thing when you see those young people getting together over there, and they have a blast every year. So that's very cool.
And easily about 400, 600
more than
young people?
1,000 kids are there.
Oh, 1,000. Wow. So anything else that we need to get out today? And, how are the volunteers looking? Do you need volunteers? What's happening?
We always need volunteers. We're probably about 50 volunteers of where I'd like to be at by today. So those people who can go online to clevelandpride.org and look at become a part of Pride and select be a volunteer, that would be fantastic.
Right.
The other exciting thing we have this year is that we're bringing back the Kids Zone, which is the 4 to 10-year-old area where there'll be face painting and coloring and really try to bring more of the fun to our younger audience that comes to us. And then, of course, we've actually begun to make announcements around our entertainment. We traditionally wait till just a few weeks before our actual event to make our announcements because we try to celebrate all of our entertainers that are, many of them are local, that are making stardom outwardly. So if you look at our website, you'll see the announcements about our entertainment that will be up. 2 stages will be going all day long. Remember, the parade actually stops off at 12 noon, and we ask people to get downtown early because the festival and its festivities go on for a full 9 hours.
Right. Well, that is great, and we'll have you back again next week, and if you want to even come in the studio, you can do that. It will be the week of Pride, and we're all going to be gearing up and excited about it, so it's up to you. And tonight, have a wonderful visit with your daughter and new granddaughter.
Thank you so much, and hello to everybody out there. Make sure you support Pride, pass the news on, bring your allies, both gay and straight, with you, okay?
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
Have a good night. All right. Todd Saporito, the president of Pride. Yes. And I think we're going to go on break. It's 7:33 already, so we are going to go on break. Right, Chris? Did we lose Chris?
See you when we get back.
Yes. And give us a call at 888-668-0742. When we come back, we're willing to chat about anything. You can even talk to Judith, ask her crazy questions about herself, maybe about her sex life or something. I don't know. I just want to throw that in there. All right, we'll be back.
User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com.
MSC Radio Network weather is brought to you by NeoWeather and NeoWeather.com, Ohio's home for weather. Okay, here we go. A sunny day outside today, although temperatures were a bit on the cool side. Those will improve over the coming days, however. Overnight tonight, expect clear skies and a chilly low around 51 degrees. Thursday will be a fantastic day with plenty of sunshine and warmer temperatures as we head for the upper 70s. The sunny weather will continue into the weekend and early next week with temperatures rising into the middle 80s this weekend. We sure do need the rain, however, and none looks to be in sight until the middle of next week. From the MSC Radio Network and NeoWeather.com, I'm forecaster Mark Spencer.
If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web, lifestylelimousineservice.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on MorningShowCentral.com. Cocaine Energy Supplement. Due to great consumer demand, Redux Beverages has officially announced the return of its world-famous Cocaine Energy Supplement. It's now available at retail locations across the country, as well as online at ReduxDirect.com. That's ReduxDirect.com. Don't forget to be part of the all-new Cocaine Energy Supplement social network, where you can meet other Cocaine Energy Supplement fans from around the world. Cocaine Energy Supplement. You can become a member. You can become a member by logging on to lovecocaine.com. Heat 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Rise above the clutter, brand your identity, and make a statement. Broken Fan Media. Expert video production, television and web commercials, music video, real estate tours, live concerts and events, state-of-the-art post-production, video and audio editing. Check us out on the web at brokenfanmedia.com. 434-944-0472. Broken Fan Media. The next generation of sight and sound. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. You're listening to MSC Radio Network, and like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC, and you know what saved them? Rectified backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectified backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectify can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectify.com. That's RECTIPHY.com. Having problems with your home computer or business PC? Looking to have some upgrade work completed on your computer? Have a special project in mind that may be too much for you to undertake alone? Time to call
Joe the Printer Guy!
Joe the Printer Guy offers a full-service hardware and software repair center at his facility to handle your PC, server, and networking needs. Let their professional service staff handle your computer needs. They offer expert service at an affordable price. Visit Joe the Printer Guy at 14035 Madison Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio. Online, joetheprinterguy.com, or give him a call at 216-651-3880. Joe the Printer Guy. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits. A 99.5% uptime guarantee and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Oh, great. Not another Farmville request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Morning Show Central. Denying one Farmville request at a time.
We're back. This is Joust It Out, and I'm your host, G. And we're back. Chris, what the hell are you doing to us?
Hello, everyone. We were not prepared for that.
All of a sudden, Chris is just yelling at us. We're back.
I know, right? He never even told us. I should have asked when we were going to be back.
We normally do.
We don't. Wait, it's yeah?
By the way, 40 actors when you're back.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Not all the time.
That's right now.
He's just
not
acting
all
that
the
way.
time. Just yeah.
So we're talking about gay pride, and what I do want to get to is actually the president did an address for gay pride for this year's gay pride, and I do want to play that.
I've often said that the true genius of America is that America can change. We can pass laws to right wrongs. We can soften hardened attitudes. Our union can be made more perfect. But here's the thing. Change never happens on its own. Change happens because ordinary people, countless unsung heroes of our American story, stand up and demand it. The story of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Americans is no different. As we celebrate LGBT Pride Month, we remember the activists and advocates who refused to be treated like second-class citizens. People like Jean Manford and Harvey Milk, who marched and protested and believed in a better future. But we also remember the unsung heroes, the millions of LGBT Americans for whom everyday acts have required extraordinary courage. The young people who came out as gay or transgender to their parents, not knowing what to expect. The two moms or two dads who went to an open house or PTA meeting, not knowing how they'd be received. The couple that got married, even if their bosses or neighbors wouldn't approve, at least not right away. Most of these heroes didn't set out to make history, but that's exactly what they did. Bit by bit, step by step, they bent the arc of the moral universe towards justice. Now it's our turn. So this June, let's take some time to celebrate teachers and students who take a stand against bullying, openly gay and lesbian service members who defend our country with honor and integrity, families and friends who have seen their own attitudes evolve. Perfecting our union isn't something we can do in just 1 month, but we can remember those who came before us. We can summon the courage to build on their legacy, and we can renew our commitment day in and day out to be the kind of people who make change happen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will.
You know, there is one hell of a difference. Can you imagine in 2013, President Romney ever doing something of that, like that?
No.
Because that can happen.
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Once a bully, always a bully. Remember a couple
And a
weeks ago, we talked about how he beat up the kid in high school, right?
Right.
Okay, so we just recently found out. So the Romney administration took special pains to clear out every electronic record that they could of his administration, so that these kinds of things wouldn't leak out. But there were folks in his administration that would leak stuff out like this. So apparently back in 2006, Mitt Romney's administration blocked a publication of a state anti-bullying guide for Massachusetts because they didn't like the term bisexual and transgender used in the publication. So not only did they block it, but then they lied about why they blocked it. They said, well, the documentation, this document's really long.
The United States.
We need some time to review. We need some time to review this document. No, they just didn't want, they just blocked it. They didn't want it to go through. So, he had opportunity after opportunity to protect bisexual, transgender individuals, and he didn't. So,
and here's the thing.
So we're not going to see.
Well, you're not. And you're not because of his religion. And I want to drive this home in the months to come. We are going to start next week with giving the facts about the Mormon religion. So I think in the first half hour of every show, what do you think of this? I'm sticking this to the wall. Let's see if it sticks. Let's throw it out, see if it sticks. We're going to take one belief or doctrine from the Mormon religion and break it down every week, starting next week. And just, we don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but people need to hear, if Mitt Romney becomes president, what he believes. Hell, they made us sit there and listen to all things about Reverend Wright and where, that President Obama isn't really a Christian and his religion's been up for grabs, and even his birthplace and everything else. Why don't we talk about Mitt Romney? And why isn't mainstream press and media talking about Mitt Romney's religion?
Well, you got to remember that as progressives,
yes,
we are very supportive, even more than just tolerant.
We're wusses.
No, we are not wusses.
We are wusses.
We are not wusses.
We believe we're at a higher plateau,
yes,
a higher ground. We must take the high road.
Yes.
It's bullshit. We can't play the high road anymore because that's why we end up with George Bush.
I know sometimes I do. I know. I sound like a hypocrite because I don't want to bash other people's religions, but I do.
It's why George W. Bush.
I don't want people to bash my religion.
And Dick Cheney were not held to war crimes. This is because,
I agree.
The Dems get in there and they say, we are going to spread peace and love.
But the actions that Bush and Cheney took where they should be tried for war crimes is different than Romney's personal religion. Now, I understand that religion.
No, I'm not talking
does...
about the act on their side. I'm talking about how Democrats and progressives handle matters.
Gotcha.
We do not line up and say we're going to destroy this person's life. We're going to cut through them and make their life hell and go through. The Republicans have no problem doing it.
Right.
They've done it time and time again.
Because
and
they're dirty and sleazy. And
they're
I'd
not
like
all
to
dirty
think
and
that
sleazy, but they certainly, there is a mindset when you think of Karl Rove politics and what that strategy looks like.
Okay, so we will talk about the magical cult of Mormonism next week.
Next week? It's starting next week.
Starting next week. Now, but
What do you want to start with, magic underwear or the planets that they get, the planet that they get?
Oh, my goodness. Let's start with the magic underwear because
Okay.
we've mentioned that multiple times, and we just want to make sure that people understand. Now, speaking of magical.
Have you ever seen the magic underwear in person?
I have seen it in packaging. They sell it at a place in Kirtland, Ohio.
Which was a stopover as they were fleeing the feds. It was a place that the Mormons stopped before their leader, Joseph Smith, was killed. And so, yes, people actually in the Mormon religion pilgrimage to Kirtland, Ohio on a yearly basis to that location where he was killed. Yeah.
So, but I just want to alert everyone to a very super important petition online
What
right
is that?
now. So, left action petition. So, we've had this whole, it ties into the whole magical thing and the whole birther thing, and we thought that was dropped a long time ago, but apparently, so this Michigan Republican Pete Huckstra has proposed setting up a national birther office to vet presidential candidates. So we all know that Obama was not born in Kenya. That's been proven time and time again. They won't let it drop, but
Obama!
So if that's going to be the case, then let's really look into Romney's background. I mean, he comes from this magical religious cult. How do we know that he's not really, in fact, a unicorn?
It's as silly.
It's just as silly. So you can go to the Left Action petition and sign this petition. Please expand this national birther office to vet presidential candidates to include an investigation of the many, many questions on whether Mitt Romney is, in fact, a unicorn.
Goodness.
I did sign the petition.
So in the sea of garbage, there is always hope. And I have to say, we said a couple weeks ago that NAACP came out with this amazing statement in favor of gay marriage. And, it's starting to crack. African-American ministers are coming forward and standing, and I want to play this clip because I think this is a great one.
Well, and we spend so much time, bashing all the other, but this is awesome.
He is not the pastor of the United States. He's the president of the United States. And for the first time in the history of this nation, we have a president who has dared to use his position to make the Democratic promise available, not just for a select few who are up and in, but for everybody, regardless of their race, their creed, their color, or their sexual orientation. And my brothers and sisters, I salute the president for that. Now, I recognize there were those who were upset about this. I recognize that because I can't believe how many conference calls I was asked to participate in this week to discuss what the president had talked about. You should have seen preachers just scurrying and hurrying to call a conference call to call out the president for what he had declared, watch this, as a personal.
I love that. That's just awesome because,
it is awesome.
What we see all the time, we always see the negative. And because there's a lot of that, how you can't miss that. Are we having more technical difficulties?
Yes, I'm just going to let it.
Intern.
It might just jump back here at us. I don't know. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. So we came across that, and I was thrilled to see that. It's just really exciting, and it shows that there are pockets all over this country. This pastor is from Texas.
Which is even better.
Yeah.
And obviously the style of his preaching is one that we usually hear and relate to the other side. And to see it related to this side of the argument is really good. It really is exciting. nice, very nice. Yeah. Made me feel good.
Yes. There's this cute little couple in a conservative county in California. They've been together since freshman year. It's their senior year, and they were voted sweetest, cutest couple. 2 lesbians. Very cute. And it was just this little news story about how they were so surprised that they were picked. And the principal is talking about well, we've all learned something about where we live. And, so I just thought it was just an adorable, cute little story. Mm-hmm. High school students in this conservative town, and everybody's, and they've got their cute little picture in the yearbook that's always going to be there. And it was just one of those heartwarming, the world is changing around us.
We're sorry, folks, we couldn't share that clip with you.
I thought I did it justice. No.
Yeah, it's justice.
G's rolling his eyes. He's like, that's a boring story.
No, not at all. But who I did see give a commencement speech. I also want to give a shout out to all the graduates. It is that time of year again. And, I saw Jane Lynch from Glee. She gave the commencement speech at Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts, and which is a well-known lesbian school. The joke is, even when you go there and you're not a lesbian, you're a lesbian for 4 years until you leave. And she gave, so if you want to look this up, because we can't play that either, so you want to check out Jane Lynch, Smith College, on YouTube. It's great. She did a wonderful job. And, it's so funny because you see all these commencement speech celebrities, Oprah, the president, everyone's running around. But I have to say, hers was one of the best I've seen in recent years.
What was her message?
It was oh my God, what her message basically was.
We're all lesbians at heart.
Get over yourself, basically, and don't plan. And she kind of does a whole thing around not planning. And it was very funny because she was obviously you wouldn't be here if you didn't plan somewhat.
Right.
But then she goes down this great path about her history and coming out and what that looked like. And
what was she on? What show? Do you remember?
No, it was a YouTube. It was a video of her giving a commencement speech at a graduation. At Smith College.
A live graduation speech. She, the funny thing is, I didn't realize this, but she did not make it. No, she never got a film or anything that was known until she was 40 years old. So, awesome. 40 years of her life.
That's not awesome, but it just makes me wow, what have I done with my life? And I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but that makes me feel good that things can still happen.
Yeah.
Later.
It gives hope to all of us.
I have the clip, but I need to know where in the video it is.
That's all right.
It's 22 minutes long.
You don't have to do it, but seeing our computer and system is out here is dead, Chris. I hope that seeing we're getting into the 8 o'clock hour and we're going to have to go off the air. If you could find something Marine.
Something for us to dance.
Yeah, related to Marines. We need something, a shout out to the Marines here in Cleveland, and we want to play something for them as we go out of the show this week.
I had that Navy song. Do you want that?
No, that's not. They're Marines. They're not the Navy.
So,
the Navy's theme song.
No, forget it.
Don't even try to tell the Marines that they are the Navy.
Yeah,
because you're going to start a riot in the streets of Cleveland. You're going to start a whole war between all the branches.
That's right.
In Cleveland, and that's not going to be pretty. Although, if they all take their shirts off,
that could be hot. It really could.
Getting each other in headlocks and.
I thought you were going to say something else about that. Anyways, Chris, do you have something for us so we can get the hell out of this show and hopefully come back next week, maybe?
I got a hip-hop thing right here.
If there's anyone here in the world that wants to come back. Maybe.
Everybody's dropped off. Nobody's listening to us anymore.
All right, listen, I have no idea what this is.
Great.
Awesome. This is awesome. Perfect.
Those are Marines. It's my gay march.
No, it looks like you're trying to do the robot without your arms.
I'm flat-footed. They would never let me in.
I'm flat-chested.
No, you're not. Well, folks,
I guess we're out of here.
JoustItOut.com will be back on next week. Hopefully you can go to JoustItOut.com and see us. And please give us a call next week at 888-668 0742. Do not forget to follow us on Twitter, friend us on Facebook, and we will be back next week with our Super Pride show and talking about that magic underwear the Mormons love. Salute the Marines.
See you next week.